And the other big thing is, I think people get confused and brought down by the news. Like we hear these global overarching statements like the economy is down, or productions are down, or all
Or
of the
they
union,
or they want
like
to wait
everything.
until they lose their houses.
Right, but also it's like, okay, yes, in Canada and in the United States, there's far less productions actively being shot because of strikes, because of lockouts. But I don't need every production in the world to be green lit and shooting right now for me to be successful. I need a few. It's like you don't need every director and every producer in all the things to know that you're an actor and to hire you. You need to meet a handful of directors, a handful of producers, a handful of showrunners, and you can make a career out of those 5 or 10 people. So it's a fallacy that to think that, oh, generally things are slow right now, so that means it's going to be slow for me. It doesn't need to be that way. You could have, if there's 1,000 things producing and 990 of them are gone, well, that still leaves 10. You could book a lead role on one of those 10. So I think the other thing to look at this, and the other strategy is, rather than just being like, oh, there's nothing I can do, double down and triple down and see all the opportunities that might be out there right now during shutdowns and lockouts and strikes. Maybe that heightens everything that is available, where you're like, okay, well, I really need to make sure I crush all my auditions, because percentage wise or volume wise, there is a little less work. So what I need to do is make sure that every opportunity that does come my way, I seize it even stronger and harder by preparing more, by making sure my auditions rock solid, making sure my preparation is rock solid, so I don't miss any of those. Because we don't strike, we don't know how long it's going to go. In the States, there's still commercial opportunities. Apparently there's still theater opportunities. You could still be creating your own work behind the scenes, and doing everything you can to move yourself forward. So it's just
Yeah.
seizing
So
what you
what you're
can
saying is
seize.
basically, because there's less opportunity currently at this point, it's making every audition that you do have or self-tape that you do have count. And so making
Yes.
sure that you're doubling down on training and that you're
Yes.
doing all that you can control to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward and you're showing your best self to casting directors, producers, directors, what have you. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If there's more games or less games being played right now, I want to make sure that I'm a leading player in those games as much as possible, even though overall the volume might be lower right now. Yeah, it's just
Mhm.
seizing those opportunities. And really what it does is it increases the competition level. It's like, yeah, now
Mhm.
there is far more actors fighting for a lot less positions, because a lot less is shooting right now.
Yeah.
But that's kind of always the case. It's like it's always only ever the one actor out of 500 who submits for the role who gets it. So we've chosen. Remember this. You chose this too. I don't think anyone twisted your arm and was like, "You're going to be an actor. Fuck
Yeah.
med school and
I
law
feel like what a
school.
lot of
You're going
people
to be an
do is they end
actor."
up downplaying how much work it's actually going to be, because as Tom brings up as well, like you've done school productions, you've done community theater productions, but like really for all of those, for both of those things, you're paying to be there. Like they're getting money from you so that you can do this.
Right.
And someone is actively paying you to use your skill that you have trained to do it at different teachers at different times, at over years of training, to do the skill that you can do. You know, as I think we've brought this up before, but you don't hire a plumber or a dentist that's just like has never done the job before.
Right.
They take years. They
Right.
take years
Yeah,
to
yeah.
train these people so that they
Yeah,
can
yeah.
do the job effectively.
Yeah, no, they're not like, "Oh, yeah, I watched this show on plumbing on TV, and it seems
Mhm.
really cool. I'd like to get into that."
Yeah,
Well,
or
yeah,
you don't hire a plumber that's like, "Oh yeah, my Aunt Lucy, I paid her $50 to change her toilet."
right.
It's
Right.
like,
So,
"Wait,
yeah, so
you paid her to do this?"
what you're saying is there's a craft and there's technique and
Yeah.
training that needs to go into it. And again, it's funny to me even saying this right now because there's a past version of myself that wasn't aware of any of that stuff.
Oh,
And I was
same.
just had a big chip on my shoulder. Oh, I've got charisma, I've got personality. I've been on stage doing stand up and sketch comedy, but for TV and film and theater acting, like the technique and the craft of acting, I didn't have any respect for that. Not because I was exposed to it and rejected it. I just hadn't been exposed to that level of training. And then through training with Tom and conservatory, it's like now I get it. I see what people are actually learning, and you end up in the beginning you don't know what you don't know, and then you have your eyes opened and you're like, oh shit, now I know what I don't know, and then eventually you know what you know.
Yeah,
We lost
exactly.
Brandon. He's blurry.
Uh,
Blurry Brandon. There you go. Not quite.
one second.
So anything else where we want to pivot on that note?
No, I think we can move on